Hello, everyone, and welcome to the pre-show here for June 8th. Oh my God, it's already June 8th, 2020.
Jeez.
It's a weird year when I think that might be the first time that I've said it. Oh my God, it's already June 8th. The days pass slower, but the months pass faster. Is that an odd statement?
That's
No,
my
I think that's
experience.
actually pretty, yeah, it's pretty on point.
Jerry, weigh in.
No, on mine, it's like the fractal. It's like the beach, like that fractal edge of the beach that can extend infinitely.
Leave it to a
I mean, how,
writer
how
to get us. Okay,
well,
go on, Jerry.
well, sorry, I apologize.
It's
Of
too
course.
early for this, Jerry. What fractal?
well,
What?
I started an hour ago, Anna. No. So you have there's a young person in your house, right,
Yes,
JP?
yes, correct.
How young?
10, almost turning 11 this month.
Oh, okay. So you got to do all this remote schooling shit. You got to,
Yeah, man, that
that's a
shit's
part of your
fucking
life.
bullshit. It's so bad.
See, I
It's
got
awful.
two.
Oh,
I got
man.
two. So my son is like he's in some kind of like advanced math thing, which I thought was cool before I had to teach it to him, and now I deeply resent it.
Yep.
And I've told him, I've said, I want you to hit your head on the wall until you're dumb, because I can't teach you this quadratic shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like I can do things like, if you tell me that one side of a triangle is like shorter than another side of a triangle,
Uh-huh.
I can tell you the lengths. If you have a triangle at home and you're having a hard time figuring out how long different sides of it are,
Math lesson.
I can
Jerry,
I
help
can
me
tell
with
you.
this triangle.
Yeah, I was just please just obviously on Twitter, send me your triangles. I can hook this up. It's easy. Does anybody else have any math content they want to talk about?
No, I forget. I did all the maths in school. I don't think I've used it once
Oh.
as an adult.
Well, this is the thing I have now, teaching it to him.
Right. That's the only reason that I think they teach it to you, is so that you can teach it to your kids when they
To
don't
your kids?
understand
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just perpetuate
During
the
the
cycle.
plague.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's yeah, that the homeschool stuff is rough. If anything, I think it is giving at least it's giving me more appreciation for teachers in general.
Oh yes.
Because like holy shit, it's a nightmare.
Holy shit.
But it's
Well,
also
and it's effed up. It's effed up for them too,
Right.
because you know, a lot of schools have like a half-hearted effort for like teleschooling, and they've got all these like out-of-the-box packages to help parents connect with schooling, and it's a pain in the ass for parents and teachers. And I don't think they gave them any time to figure out how it worked anyway. So they
No.
just put everybody in the same impossible situation, and then just like put the thumbs up and then like backed away slowly into the bush.
Yeah. We had I don't know if you've had this experience yet. We had to miss one day due to a family emergency, and we got a message later that day from the teacher saying that the kid wasn't in class and she would like to know why, and if she was going to make up the work for the next day. And I was very upset by that. I was just like, if they're starting to take roll call now on a Zoom, I think they use Zoom. I don't know. They might be using some other like go-to meeting or something like that, but
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
Microsoft Teams.
yeah, it might be
Oh.
Microsoft Teams. Maybe.
I know every one of these motherfuckers now. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
someone-
Like I've
There's a
Someone
lot.
tried to get me
Yeah.
on Skype the other day, and that
Oh,
was where
no.
I drew the line.
No,
we haven't been on
that's-
Skype in years. Get with the program.
Yeah. I think I finally
What's next?
uninstalled
Got it.
We're gonna
Skype.
try to get somebody on like TeamSpeak or Ventrilo. Or just great call.
Now wait, does TeamSpeak still
Let's go back
exist?
to-
I'm gonna
Let's
see.
do it.
Microsoft
World of
Game
Warcraft
Voice.
days. Let's freaking go. Yeah.
TeamSpeak.
Yeah. Hey guys, meet me in Vent. I got a Vent server.
Yeah.
Just come on through.
Yeah, that I'm paying
I would take
$15
that
a
over
month
Skype.
for. Dude, Jasmine, I was trying to explain this to Elliot yesterday. He's like, Discord is really great, but he's like, it keeps telling me that I should use Discord instead of Skype or TeamSpeak, and I don't know what those are. And I'm like, son, in a year, no one's gonna know what those are.
Yeah.
It's like
It's better that you
yeah.
don't.
I went to
Yeah.
the TeamSpeak page because I have never heard anyone talk about it in the past year. Apparently, they're the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League, which might be why no one's heard of them. You know what I'm saying?
That's too dark.
I did not know that. Huh.
Didn't either.
That is dark comedy.
Yeah.
That was a roast and a half. I'm pretty
Ooh.
sure
I did that for
Blizzard's
Sir
coming
Scoots.
after you.
I did that for Scott. That's who that was for. If he ever watches
Scott, if
this
you're out there.
episode, Scott, that was for you specifically and no one else. So, yeah. What did you guys use ICQ back in the day? Am I showing my
Oh,
I
age here?
never
By
used that one.
I don't know if
No.
hell
okay.
yeah.
I think ICQ
I
might
had
be the
three.
oldest one.
Dude, I had 3 different ones.
Yeah.
So we used um a million years ago when we were still on like 28.8 dial-up. We
Yeah.
used something called one of the first that I'd ever seen was called Powwow,
Mm,
which was really cool. And you could basically like co-browse the web and stuff. Like, oh man, it was like viewing parties or in Twitch Prime or whatever,
yeah.
but it was like just a web page.
Yeah. Just text. There's
And we were very impressed with it. But no, I had ICQ, but I also had a program called Trillium
Yeah, that
that
combined
allowed
them
me
all.
to
Trillium!
Combined
that
them all.
allowed me to sign into all of them and then put them in. And I had some great skins, you guys. That's all I'm gonna say. Some real
Yeah.
cool Trillium skins.
The default
Wow.
one was like the teal and like brushed silver, right?
Mhm,
I remember
mhm,
that one for
mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brush Silver was real big then.
Gosh.
Yeah, I had some great Winamp skins also.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I was like, I remember having some pretty
I
cool Winamp
I
setups.
think I'm the only person that still uses Winamp. It's loaded up on my desktop right now.
For what?
It's how I
To
play
do
music.
what?
That has all my MP3s in it for all the shows that we do. That's what we're using to play any music right before the show. Yeah.
Do you have a cool visualizer on there, Dad?
I do have Milk Drop installed for the random occurrence when I feel like putting a visualizer up on my up on one of the monitors. Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
I love
didn't
this.
I didn't use those, but I was under contract to do a weekly show on Raid Call for a while for Evil Geniuses.
I
You
remember that. I remember Raid Call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was every week. Everyone had to hop on Raid Call. You could win prizes and stuff. And it was all happening there.
Yeah.
In
That
fact,
missed
for
me
a while, we
completely.
had to call all of the players e.g. Raid Call player.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
they
part
weren't
of
allowed
their.
to-
I remember
yeah.
that for MLG because we had to get like new new accounts for everyone when that happened.
I never knew
Yeah.
people did shows on Raid Call. I remember I've been in a lot of Raid Call events and stuff like that, but it was always for like raiding and playing
I don't
games online.
who made like who was behind Raid Call. Well, I don't know like who did they get bought out by someone or was that just like a standalone? I don't know how.
I don't
know the
but
business
I
of
do
Raid
know
Call.
There was a lot of money that they were spending trying to get their name said a lot,
Right.
and I don't know how well that worked.
I don't know. I mean,
I've never heard of it. And
maybe not so well. Jerry's
I
never heard of it.
play games. I play games on occasion
Yeah.
with other people online.
That's
so,
true.
But I did miss like the real golden age of WoW rating. I was not there for, and so it might be that it's a specialized tool for that type of encounter, or is it just a voice thing?
I don't know that it was part of the golden age.
Get out,
of
get your
anything.
cheat sheet out from the influencer cheat sheet, Anna. Open it back up from 7
No,
years
I'm
ago.
not, they're not paying me anymore. I don't have to say nice things about Raid Call.
Oh man, yeah. I remember when you guys were using that, we like checked it out for State of the Game, which was the StarCraft podcast that I was doing at the time, and I think it was like maybe 30 seconds. I was like, nah, I'm good. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to I think Skype is what we were using at the time.
Well, that's because everyone was there. Everyone was on Skype.
Skype was kind of the jam, yeah.
Yeah, and then as a community, we were all like, okay, together we have to agree we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
We're leaving after all these viruses are on our computer.
Yeah. And then Microsoft bought them and somehow it got worse. Or it didn't get better. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. It didn't get better.
Yeah.
It just didn't get
The
better.
one thing about Skype that I really did like was the audio quality. Like it's weirdly good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would play it and it's just like, okay, yeah, this is definitely using a lot of my computer's resources and the lion's share of my bandwidth. But someone can open a can of beer in their by their microphone and I will feel like I'm drinking beer. Like it's the level, the fidelity was bonkers.
And isn't that the goal, really?
Yeah.
The apex.
I think so. That's the apex. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's good audio. Jerry, we poked fun at you before the show, and a couple people in chat have asked, "The hell is going on with your room? What's this room? Let's talk about it."
Oh shit!
Is this your music listening room? I know it's like your office, but do you?
I think it's a smoking room.
Is it a smoking
It
room?
What do you
want
wanna-
like a smoking room.
What do you want to know? I mean, I can
Where's your satin jacket?
hook it up.
Do you have a satin jacket?
Okay, well here let me just
Yeah, just give us a tour.
No, so I have my thing. So I mean, I think this is probably true for a lot of people. I live mostly in my head,
Hmm.
and so a lot of times I'll just forget about space. And but I really appreciate it if things are arranged well. I just don't know that most of the time. I have to actually see it arranged well and be like, oh wow, that's actually way better.
Yeah.
But Brenna does know this, and so for my birthday a few years ago, she got a bunch of things that were the same color and put them in the same room.
Nice.
And I can't express my adoration for this woman any higher than that. Not 2 days ago, she put up some cool hooks so that
Are you gonna play
my
us a song, Jerry?
ukulele, uh, if you want,
That was a
my
tease.
ukulele.
Yeah, I was
but
very excited. I thought we were gonna get some. What is that? What do you call that one, Jerry?
this is a Woodrow
Okay.
Woodrow?
here. Yeah. Here, so I'll put it
Is
in
that
the
a
angle.
4-string, 2-string?
It's DAD tuned.
Okay.
It's just a doubled string on the high
Oh.
D here, and basically you can't play anything that sounds bad on it. It is nuts. It's like imagine installing a pair of training wheels on a guitar,
Right.
and that's basically what a Woodrow
I
is.
need one of those.
Oh my gosh, I can hook this up with ease. It would be my great pleasure. No, to help you
Jerry knows a
endure,
guy.
to help you endure the rest of this for sure. I'll get your info after this. Um, but
I'm gonna
so
just
that
be a full-time
let's see.
Woodrow streamer. Gotta go
Yeah.
to Ren
Yeah.
Fair.
It's the
You
next
could
big
do
thing.
it. No, get in there like Megan.
Yeah.
Do those
Yeah.
music stream.
Yeah.
I have a standing sub to Megan too. That call out was so cool.
Yeah, she does our intro music for the show.
I know she's a beast, dude.
Yeah, she's great.
She's a beast.
Yeah.
Anyway, I decided I wanted to listen to records, and so then that is a record player.
Mm-hmm.
This
What's the-
strange orb.
Yeah,
back
what the hell
here
is that? That's
actually
the only thing I can't figure out.
It looks like a Heisman Trophy or
Phylactery.
something.
Yeah.
Right? That's your phylactery.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so try to kill this. Do your best.
Yeah, that's where
Um,
the adventurers have to get to
Mm-hmm.
win.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
They
just like-
won't,
but
they have to make it
no,
through
but they
the
come in.
office of murder.
Yeah.
No, but no, it's worse than that. Because Jasmine, basically what they have to do is they have to come in and they're like, there it is, the phylactery, that which we have sought. And then they'll be like, these chairs look great. We've been riding for a while. And
We
they're
can
like,
sit down.
wait a
They've been
second.
enchanted
Yeah.
by
Let's take a
Woodrow
short
music.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they're gonna be like,
and then
wait a second.
they just live
This-
there forever.
Like, exactly. Like, wait a second. So this Lich is into Neutral Milk Hotel. He's got it on vinyl.
Jeez.
We might as well just put that on. I mean, we've earned it, haven't we?
Take a short rest.
1,000 years later. And then someone made me a cigar box guitar and inlaid the AI logo.
Nice.
Wow.
Right behind that is my mother's guitar, or 6-string guitar that I learned on. Yeah,
All right.
I mean that's
That's the
basically
tour.
that's
Is that-
basically it.
Is that a chessboard on the your left, I guess, or maybe your right,
Let's see, chess.
in between the
Oh.
two chairs?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's a chessboard that we found at a garage sale. It's a chessboard that is also a table.
Nice.
It
Good.
just seemed weird enough to
Yeah.
want to have in there.
That makes sense.
But yeah, usually I have a curtain back here, and so nobody sees any of the rest of this stuff. I certainly don't have a Thanos gauntlet. I remember when you got that.
Yeah, that thing's kind of stupid.
I followed it on Twitter very intently.
I knew what I was getting at. Like, this whole statue thing has been a month-long process. It's been a lot. I've every day a new statue comes in, and I open it with glee, but also with disdain of like, I don't need, like, why am I doing this? Like, what?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah, same,
Like,
same.
I've got these boxes just sitting here of just more shit that I haven't.
What are you supposed to do with
I don't
these?
know, man.
Where are they gonna go?
They just
You're not
sit there.
moving Gwen Stacy. I'm telling you that right now.
So that one actually, the Gwen Stacy over there, the bust, that was sent to me on accident. The company was supposed to send
Really?
me this, and they sent me
Oh,
that
wow.
on accident, and it's like triple the cost. And so I emailed them and said like, hey, you guys sent this to me on accident. I'd like to pay for it and keep it because it's great. And so their response was to send me another one of these, and
What a confusing interaction.
I don't know what's going on with that. It's a little bit
Now
weird.
you're like a Spider-Gwen super fan.
Yeah, now I've just got a
Yeah,
bunch
for
of
sure.
Spider-Gwens. So yeah, the statue game is a cruel beast for sure. I didn't
No, it is.
I didn't realize how deep the rabbit hole goes, but now I've peered in,
But
and yeah.
but Jasmine is broadcasting from like the security booth. I mean, it looks like right in front of us is like this bank of screens or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've got
The
each
break
of
room,
you
there's
on a
mini
different
fridge
one.
down there.
yeah.
Yeah. I've got my combat hat on. I'm actually on duty right now. I might have to run at any given moment,
Okay, all right.
You're
on
working
You know.
hard.
Yeah,
but very hard. Working hard or hardly working?
yeah.
Gotta make work jokes when you're at work.
Dude,
True.
if you've got time to clean, I don't know. I forget how it goes, but you have some time to do something else.
Is that the age old saying? If you got time to clean, you got time to do something else.
Yeah.
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 I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
that's
know.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That seems
I'm
right to
actually
me.
curious. Jerry brought up his musical talents. Can Bronze or Anna? Can you guys play any musical instruments? I cannot. I have no musical talent that I know of.
No, Anna can flex.
Where are they? They're yeah. So there's a dog toy on my piano. That's cute.
That's fine.
Yeah, I like all of the instruments that I have played. At one point, I was passable, and then like stopped practicing when I no longer had occasion. So like, I played trumpet for a while. I played bass for a while. I played marimba for a
Trumpet?
while.
Marimba?
Yeah, I mean, back when, yeah, and I'm like passable. I understand a piano, but I can't like sit down and like read something and play it. I have to sit and plunk it and then teach it to myself. Same with guitar, where it's like I used to be able to pick something up and play it, and now I would really have to. So if I ever actually pick things back up, which I'm trying to do with piano right now.
Dude,
then-
piano's the one thing that I think of any instrument I would love to learn to play the piano. Only so I could be that guy that walks into like any
mall
and just start like playing something to get a crowd. I think that would be the greatest feeling
a banjo
/ coolest
moment?
thing. Yeah, to do.
Dude,
Oh.
you know
Yeah.
how I learned piano?
It'd be so nice.
I got one of these it's like a cardboard fold out thing, and
Yeah.
it has all the piano keys on it, and then it has all of the letter names of the keys and the symbol of where it is in the music, so that you could take a sheet music and just
Oh,
be
that's
like,
smart.
it's that one. It's that one. And I swear that's how I learned to play piano, because I
And it
never got to
actually
take
worked?
lessons or anything. Yeah. And I
Huh.
mean, I was a kid, so I had the time to be like plunk, 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 plunk. But like, that's how I learned enough to plunk my way through other stuff. So if you want to learn piano, try it. It worked.
That's good. Yeah, someone in chat, when will you ever be in a mall? I don't know. I better hurry up and learn quick. They're kind of
Oh
going
my
away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, do you think
They're a
malls
dying
are
breed.
done? Do you think we don't
Have
get
you
malls
been-
anymore?
Have
Probably.
you been to one?
The last time I was in a mall,
They've been dying
was-
for a while.
Jasmine has got it. If you haven't been
They're
to one
creepy.
recently,
They're pretty rough.
they
yeah.
are scary. They're legitimately
half
scary.
weird.
Flickering
No, dude,
neon
it's-
lights.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
creepy.
it's where horror movies are filmed, right?
Stranger Things
Um,
was, yeah.
Yeah, you have
Oh, yeah.
the food court. God damn, that's a mug.
Oh yeah, it's Modok.
That sort of
mug.
mug should be on his shelf.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll
it's
need a link to
bust
that,
and a
Franz.
mug.
Jerry,
in
don't
one
support
piece.
this. Don't
It's
support my
beautiful,
disgusting.
right?
I don't need that mug.
No, dude, this is the horror. It's like an arcology or something. You ever seen the movie Aniara?
Can't say I have.
No.
It's okay. It's one of my favorite movies. It's really scary and bad.
Okay.
But it's about a spaceship, a colony ship that leaves the Earth, and it's basically a mall hotel type situation. And so it's sort of like hyper consumerist. That's how they sort of keep everyone in there, dialed in.
Sure.
But that's basically that type of ship is basically what malls are. Because I think all the people eating in the food court are the people working in the rest of the mall.
Right.
I think it's a completely
Whoa.
closed loop. And that's what it looks like. If you haven't been to one recently, it is definitely it's like they could just, with no effort, they could transform malls into museums about how we used to buy things.
Yeah.
This transition would take 5 minutes. They just have to change some of the signage. And it's probably a more robust business model. Frankly,
I think I was in a mall last winter. Was the last time I was in a mall. And like, there's definitely a lot of just closed up shops that probably will never have something
Yeah.
new in them. But there was still a lot of people there, at least here in St. Louis. I'm sure in other parts of the country, like they're completely
Up
dead.
here, our big malls. I mean, the ones downtown can happen, but the ones that are out north, like the suburban mall, I just don't think that's how people buy stuff anymore. The last time I was in a mall, I had to fight a jackal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
I
is
think,
there a
like-
jackal store here? No, it's a wild dog.
I think like I had that experience. Like, so I mean, Jerry, you know about like Bellevue Mall, right?
Oh,
And you
yeah,
go
for
there
sure.
and you realize like they don't actually sell anything. Like the only malls that are doing well are the malls that don't sell anything, because you go there and it's like a Tesla store. Like
Oh,
obviously you're not
yeah.
going to go to the mall. Like it's just advertising space now. Like a Peloton store. Like if you were to walk in there and be like, I want to buy an exercise
That's
bike,
true.
they'd be like, let's place an order online, because there's no way you can walk out of here with one. Like everything at the mall is there as advertisement space. And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to transition the mall into a place where you just hang out,
Yeah.
but there's no
Mm.
draw to hang out. So
Yeah.
it's like become this like weird place where it's like there aren't any stores. It's just like really abstract, really, really weird stuff.
The
It's
only
like, oh
So-
yeah, the
Yeah.
Tesla
So
store.
Jasmine, yeah, exactly. So do you think that there's certain classes of item maybe that people are still reticent to purchase digitally, right? Like a certain, like a Peloton bike, I think isn't a good example, or like an iPad. Like
Yeah.
there's the cost is such that you want to actually have an experience with it, and it's actually still worth it for them to do that. Now,
Yeah.
the Lego store,
should
you can
always
still buy
exist.
Legos there.
Yeah.
You
I
can
think
still buy Legos there, everybody.
Lush. I haven't ever seen a Lush
Yeah.
outside of a mall before.
Oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
definitely get a motherfucking bath bomb at Lush. Sure,
Lush
they
is
got 'em.
always is great in a mall, but I don't, like I said, I've never seen a Lush store outside of a mall. I don't know why that is. Are they considered like a mall commodity or something?
Could be.
I don't know.
But
I think it's
it
one of
might,
those
it might
things
be,
like it
yeah.
doesn't have the pull that you would ever be like, I'm gonna drive to Lush, which is like what malls have become now, right?
Sure.
Like you go
Mhm.
to the mall and then you happen to get stuff while you're there.
Yeah.
But it's like, are
Destination.
you gonna go drive straight to a Bath and Body type of store just to get a bath bomb?
It's true.
Probably not. Like, you know, like
I know
it's
how to make them.
but like when you're
That's-
like, oh, let me just grab a bath bomb and a bubble tea and a pretzel, like it kind of falls into that category.
Yeah.
I want to
Like
go to
I'm
that
already
store.
here.
I don't want to go to
Here's
that
a bunch
mall,
of cheap
but I want to
stuff.
go to that store.
Dude, that
Yeah.
sounds like that afternoon
That's true.
bangs. I'm coming home.
'Cause
I'm
when-
here to tell you right now, there's nothing like it when that blade comes down and they chop you off like a meatloaf-sized hunk of that soap loaf. I mean, I want to eat it. I want to fucking eat it.
Lush is a good example too, because they make the store specifically
Yes.
like an experience. I used to live above
Yeah.
a Lush, and you could smell it, so it would
Oh.
like
Of course
you
remind
can.
me. Yeah, it would remind me like, oh, I want to go to Lush, and it smells so nice. And I go in, and they like
Now, was that
put
too
stuff
much
on my
Lush
arm
though?
and show
That you
me.
could smell it all the
No,
time?
I loved
Okay,
it.
you're still
I loved
okay.
it.
All right.
But I did live above a mall, but even then, I only went to the mall, like you were saying, Jasmine, when I was like, oh, I ran out of stuff from Sephora and Lush, and then also Gap's having a sale. So I will go do all of those things at once, and that's what will bring me to the mall.
Yeah.
So even
Yeah.
though the mall was literally downstairs.
Maybe all the mall stores like the Lushes and the Sephora and all that stuff will just become airplane stores or airport stores, not airplane stores.
Oh,
there you
Probably,
go.
because
Terminal,
I don't
terminal
think-
shop.
Terminal shops. Yeah.
Yeah, like people don't. I think the mall's always been a place where people go to hang out, right? And I think that's
I did.
why everything shut down, because there's no way to monetize that outside of like what used to be the case back in the day when I was a wee lad, and you know,
Yeah.
back when you had like arcades and stuff, there was ways for people to like monetize.
Yeah.
And now when you think of like the general demographic that's going and hanging out at the mall, how do you make money off of them? You don't, unless you sell a lot of small cheap stuff, right? So
Yeah.
like that's why the food
Well-
courts and the Lushes have survived, but all of the other
Jamba
stores have
Juice.
gone under.
Jamba
Yeah.
Juice. That's true. Yeah.
Well, and when
Possible
you
to
think
get
about like
juices, right?
theaters too, because a lot of times you only go to a mall because you want to go see a movie, but all of this stuff is coming out about theaters where they're like, we don't know if we'll ever be able to reopen now.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
they're fucked too, right?
Yeah.
It's
That was
fucked
Anyway,
so
cool.
bad.
in
Cool
the-
show, JP. This
That's
is a
all
real
the show is.
downer.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. Usually the shows get pretty depressing pretty quick. That's the secret. You're talking about movies in the Christopher Nolan trailer for Tenet. At the end,
Tenet.
it like tries to ram it down your throat of like, hey, you're gonna see this in theaters only. I'm not going to a theater next month. What the fuck are you talking about, Christopher Nolan? Put this shit on Vudu or Amazon so I can watch the goddamn movie. What are you talking about? There's no way.
So has anybody done it? Oh, Anna, we never had a chance to talk about Austin. Let's just talk about Austin for the next hour and a half.
What about Austin?
Jane Austen.
Oh, I don't know where that jump happened.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Boo, 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 boo.
Oh, no.
I know what it was. It was we were talking about new movies. We were going to go to the theater to see Emma. We couldn't go to the theater, but then we saw it on Prime Now because they released it digitally. Yes,
nice. We got
Jane
there.
Austen fans got it.
I thought you were talking about Texas.
Has anybody grabbed, like, downloaded a movie that was supposed to be a theater movie, but then you ended up just grabbing it?
Yeah, I'm a huge movie theater person.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorites. I'm like an AMC Stubs member. I like
pay
more than I have to every month because I just want theaters to not go down because I love going to movies.
You like to sit in the dark. You like the big dark
I like
room.
someone else to make me kind of okay popcorn. I like to sit in a chair that I paid for, and I like someone to show me a movie, and I like everybody to be required to be quiet, and I can complain if they're not.
So you like the draft house. You don't like movies. You just like going to the draft.
No, I like movies.
Okay.
I like the experience of being presented a show. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because watching movies in my own house is cool, but it's the same as like going to a concert or something. Like I love the art of film and television and cinematography. So it's like I want to go and have the pomp and circumstance of being presented this piece of art.
Sure.
You know, and like watching it on my TV at home is cool, but not the same.
Oh, you want the ritual.
Well, and it also requires you to like really pay attention because I think we're all guilty of never being able to turn off, right? Like, because when you watch a movie at home, like you're right, I can make better popcorn. I can have better company. It'll be really quiet. And I know that. I can ensure that. I could turn down the lights. I have got a nice TV. But I have caught myself looking at my phone. And it's like, no, but I like the movie. I'm enjoying the movie. Where is this desire to check my phone coming from? And I don't know if I'm the only one guilty of that, but I don't do that in movie theaters. I force myself to watch the movie, right? So like to a certain extent, it's like 2 hours where I do not have a choice. I have to take those 2 hours and enjoy this thing, regardless of anything else that's happening. So to a certain extent, there's like a meditation or like a nice feeling associated with that.
Yeah.
Because you just focus on the movie.
I think also the shared experience of laughing or whatever the emotion is being shared is a powerful thing that can only be.
I think that's really astute.
Yeah,
actually.
from movies in a
anything.
Theater.
Well, it's like if you're role playing or something like that. You know, any of these things, like anything that more than one person shares, just becomes more real, and that's a really cool moment. Like if you saw Endgame in the theater,
it's
a pretty strong argument. Right?
Yeah, I saw Endgame in it wasn't a private screening, but it was only with people I knew, so it was like private but not private. And I wish I would have saw it in like a normal ass theater because we didn't get the like crazy. At the end of that, we didn't get the hollering or people cheering or anything like that. It was just kind of quiet. And I feel like I missed out watching some of those clips that came out.
No, it felt like church.
If I never get to see a Star Wars premiere with other people again, that will be so sad. Because part of it is just the collective gasp and the like, you know, people clapping even though the people in the movie can't hear them. Like, you know. So
random story about Star Wars intros. We saw, maybe it was... No, Solo didn't have that. So it must have been one of the newer, maybe the second movie. It wasn't the final one. I think it was the first time we'd seen a Star Wars movie in the theater together with me and Aaron. And for some reason, she forgot that the movies of Star Wars begin with that loud fanfare, just seemingly out of nowhere.
Oh, God.
And so we're all just like very quiet and everyone's like, you know, expecting this to happen. And it does the huge loud intro and Aaron goes, oh God, it just really
he shot into space.
Like...
Yeah. And I just looked over and was like, oh my God. And then not 30 seconds later, she goes, By the way, I haven't seen the original movies, so that I learned a lot from my now fiance in those.
Oh, man, that's going to be real confusing.
Yeah, opening moments.
I still remember seeing the original Pokemon film in movie theaters.
Oh yeah.
When I was like young, and there was a moment where we're all sitting there quiet. It's like the apex of the film, and I guess I'll spoil it because that movie is like way too old. But there's like a moment where another kid in the movie theater just like yells out, "Ash is dead!" And everybody started laughing. Like it's like this really emotional moment. But then this like 7-year-old kid, and I remember I was like maybe 9. I was like old enough to know not to like yell that. But this kid like just yells that, and his mom's like, "Shh." He's like, "Ash is dead!" Like
he's trying to process the loss.
Yeah.
And everybody's like goes from crying to just like the whole movie theater just started laughing because this child could not process that Ash was dead.
That's great. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Anyway,
Did
so
you
this is Anna's case, I think, right? Is that it provides a social space that you can share with complete strangers.
Yeah.
Also, like a treat
and have
to
these
yourself.
emotional responses. Yeah.
I think I was thinking too about this because I realized how important going to movies is to me, and I was thinking about how when I was a kid, we couldn't really afford to do that kind of stuff all the time. But my dad would do these things where he would decide we were going to the movies that night, and he would like take blankets and like hang them up like curtains around the TV and like make special popcorn and put it in things that looked like the movie theater, and like, have everyone show up at a certain time because that's when the movie started. And even that had the same kind of feeling of like, we're all doing this together. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think that that must have been where it kind of started, which is because I even like doing it by myself now, where it's like I get to go take myself to this special place where somebody's going to entertain me with this art for 2 hours.
Oh yeah. Before all this started, I lived in when I lived in Dallas, we were about 2 minutes from a theater. And every Friday morning I would go catch the 10 a.m. movie of like whatever the movie was for that weekend by myself. And it was like the greatest alone time because no one else is in the theater. Not a maybe like 1 or 2 other super old people. And they wouldn't say a thing. And so I'd sit there and watch the theater or watch the movie by myself. It's great.
I once went to the Frozen sing-along showing because Frozen was in theaters forever. And then they like started being like, okay, how else can we milk Frozen? And they were like, we'll do sing-along versions. And I was with my mom. We went to a Frozen sing-along. We were the only people in the theater. And we were just
no shit.
Oh yeah, it was. And then one more person showed up, and both of us were like,
you got
three isn't enough.
Yeah,
that's what's funny. 2 is good here, but as soon as that third person comes in, then it's just like.
Yeah.
Then there has to be at least 8 to make it work.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I've
it
never
has to build up
no man's land between like too many but not enough.
Yeah.
So now it's like it's cringy if you do it. Yeah. No, I get it.
That's it. Yep.
I've never been to like a sing-along thing at Draft House or any similar experiences before for like Grease or Mamma Mia or anything like that. I think it would be fun though. Or it would have been fun. I don't know if it'll ever happen again, but.
Dude, also cult movie showings are some of the best.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen.
I've never done that either.
A showing of The Room.
Oh.
That is one of the best movie experiences you will ever have. It is so fun.
I recently hosted one in the Discord.
You did?
Yeah, and in my Discord channel, like we did like screen share and we hosted a showing of The Room. And it felt like it was being in a movie theater because we were like all in chat, and like right before it happened, we're like, "Oh hi, Mark," and the whole chat's just scrolling with "Oh hi, Mark," and then like,
did you do all the rituals, like the spoons and stuff?
No, we didn't do any of that. But it was just funny because there was a lot of people. It was their first time, and they're like, "Why are you guys obsessed with this movie?" And then the movie opens, they're like, "Is this porn? Like, are you allowed to be showing this in Discord?"
Yeah, it has that feel.
And I was like, "This is the anti-porn." And they're like, "What?" I was like, "Because when you watch this, it makes you never want to. It makes you want to be an incel. Like it's incel fuel because like it's the least sexiest sex scenes you'll ever see.
It's an incel beam, and it just like blasts you, and then you leave.
I've still never seen.
Leave it.
I've seen the movie about The Room, but I haven't seen The Room.
Yeah,
it's a meme.
I think I kind of messed that up. But yeah.
It's a meme factory. Like my 14-year-old son, Gen Z all the way. I mean, I'll go up into his room and be like, "Hey, Sonny," he'll say, "Oh, hi, Mark," and it's just like, where is this coming? Why do you even fucking know about this? Like, are you
God, I love
online?
that movie.
Are you logging onto the web?
The
man.
oh hi doggy part that you just brought up, Jasmine.
Yeah.
The Disaster Artist was also a book before the movie, and being obsessed with movies as I am, of course I read it. And there's a chapter about that part. Apparently, that specific take he had done like 50 times and just could not get it. And oh hi doggy was never in the script, but that was the last take. He just randomly noticed this dog that had been sitting there the entire time that he hadn't noticed before, and was like, "Oh, hi, doggy." And they were like, "We'll just use that. I don't know. We'll just use that." And that became my favorite scene in the movie. He just didn't notice that dog until the 50th take.
Wow,
Everything
Sounds about
about
right.
that movie is gold because it's just
It's
like
fantastic.
what? There's so like, yeah, I have breast cancer. Anyways,
It's amazing. Oh,
like you're just like, and then it just never comes up again. You're like, okay.
In some way,
So
I kind of
stupid.
enjoy not having seen that movie yet, so I can just understand the absurdity of what you just
Yeah.
said
Yes.
without having
It's
the
all non sequiturs.
Yeah. Like I'll never,
I-
unless I watch it, I'll never understand why that was said the way it was said. But it's still funny to me.
Yeah.
Like I still appreciate it. So
I am really curious what your experience would be going in reverse, like watching The Disaster Artist and understanding the craziness around the movie, and then
Oh.
watching the movie instead of
Yeah.
having seen it and then watch The Disaster Artist.
yeah, I don't know. I might have to sit down and watch. But like, here's the thing: is it
The thing-
actually a bad? Is it so bad it's good? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
It's not good.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I don't know
It's
if I could
just-
sit through it. Then I might just get upset.
It's one of those things that like it's so absurd you start laughing. Like it's like
Mm.
the type of comedy you cannot write because every actor in it is so bad. Everything about it is so bad that they accidentally created gold because the way they deliver the lines, the way they do everything, you're just like, this has to be a skit. This has to be a bit they're doing. There's no way some
Yeah.
people can be this bad at everything. And so it just makes you laugh. It's one of those movies you have to watch with people though and not alone.
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
like it's just
Yeah.
every time you think you've
Alone.
got a grip on what's happening, like something so random will happen that you just start laughing because it's just so ludicrous. Like, and if
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess if you know why the movie turned out that way, then maybe it's not as ludicrous. Whereas, like, if you just go in, you're like, like the entire
Yeah.
movie
Yeah,
is
that's
like,
that's true. Yeah,
It's like a surrealist, absurdist piece.
Yes.
sure.
That's what I was gonna say. It isn't that it's so bad it's good.
Okay.
It's that
Yeah.
it's surreal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
On many levels. The fact it's manufacturing, the film itself as released, like it is impossible to keep your head around it.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Have you guys been to a drive-in movie yet? Those are like apparently blowing up.
Man.
I've never been to a
Oh,
drive-in movie
I
theater
saw
ever.
that they came back. I
Yeah.
saw that they came back. If that actually makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I hope
I
it
haven't been. I haven't
does.
been to one. I haven't been to one since you came back because, I mean, look. So that's. I mean, without going into a lot of detail, that would have been a norm in the context in which I came up. I feel like if you're going to go to a drive-in, you do have to have a truck.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of it. I feel like the truck is a non-negotiable portion of the drive-in experience.
Or at least not a car, right? Something with elevation to it. Is that what you're saying?
You would not believe the experience you can fit in the back of a truck. Well, maybe you can.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Broadly
Gotcha.
defined.
Yeah. Okay.
But essentially, like the types
Spicy.
of scams you can, coolers, it's basically like you bring a lot of the same stuff you would bring camping.
Right.
You're just basically camping in this tiny plot. I don't know. It's incredible. I recommend it to everybody. But yes, I can see how when I saw that they were coming back, it made perfect sense. I could make
Yeah.
my peace with the car. I think probably.
Yeah. I think it'd
It
be
is
fun.
interesting though. Like I think about drive-ins so nostalgically because there was like one of the last remaining drive-ins in this part of the country was near where I lived in Oregon, near-ish, and that it finally died, and I was so sad. But then when I think back on the experience, I never went in a truck. We went in like the family sedan, And to like get the audio of the movie, you had to like tune in on the radio.
Tune in
So the audio
radio.
wasn't that good.
It's
And,
ridiculous.
you know, I wasn't that comfortable. So now that I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, wow, was that actually like, do I actually want to go to a drive-in or do I just like the nostalgia?
Wait, how does that work if you're sitting in the back seat?
Yeah, see, this is my question as well.
Poke your head out the window?
I don't remember.
Put your head between your mom and dad in the front seat?
I think I did. I think I was like leaning in the middle to like, I don't know.
You remember what movie it was?
No. Maybe
it was Batman and Robin was the one that I saw.
I feel like it was maybe like Peter Pan. Like, and not because Peter Pan was new, but they had like old movies that they had the rights to show.
Yeah.
The only experience I have with the drive-in is from the movie Twister, where they're watching the movie, they're watching The Shining, and then the fucking tornado comes through the projection. Yeah, Twister's really good. I need to go watch Twister again. It's been a while.
Yeah, Twister is really good.
Yeah,
Philip, you gotta roll them now. You can't fold them. Now you got a crease going through Wichita.
Yep. Good lines in there. Randomly though, a lot of those actors are actually dead from that movie now. Like Philip Seymour Hoffman, and then the main character. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Anyways, more depressing news here from the pre-show.
Wow. Yeah. JP.
Just bringing the depression. Jerry, I got a question for you, and I would guess this also pertains to Bronze and Anna, though I'm not sure. First off, Jerry, do you wear your wedding ring every single day? So is that because here's the reason I bring this up. I just got the wedding ring like 3 days ago. I don't know what to do with it. It feels weird when I type. I don't want to just leave it on my desk because I'm like so nervous that I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah. So okay. So I did wear it every day because I'm really superstitious.
Yeah.
Right. And so I wore it every day just to maintain the connection that I have with my wife.
Sure.
Because the alternative, of course, is the annihilation of our union. And so I wanted to make sure that I had that band, that seal.
Right.
So that none of the love would get out.
Right.
Right. And then, but if you type all day, like if you type for a living, for me, I can't have anything like that. I mean, I can't even have hair. I need to remove all these sensory aspects. I have to. I can't have them, or else I can't focus on anything.
Yeah.
And so, so I would take it off, and then I would set it in a specific place, like on my desk, so that I would always know where it was.
Right.
And it had been lost for a couple days before I realized it was lost.
Ooh, see, that's a nightmare in my eyes.
It was really, really bad. And I found it in the recycling bin downstairs.
What?
Oh, did you put something in and it fell off? Okay.
It had fallen off into the recycling bin, which I had then emptied downstairs in the larger recycling bin. And then until I did a full catalog of every inch of the house. And it's just like, okay, so it's like, yes, I'm superstitious enough to wear it all the time until it becomes clear that I could actually lose it maintaining it in that policy.
Sure.
Which is even worse. So now I just have a specific place that I keep it and I wear it on my anniversary, but I never touch it other than that. I have to make sure that it's in a very specific place. And which it probably indicates something about my mental state, but it's really, really important that I have a good sense of where it is.
Yeah. See, I think my fear is losing it, but it's also coupled with, I've read a lot of stories about people getting things caught on their ring and then having some medical issues afterwards.
Yes.
And I'm really fearful of like
at work.
Yeah. Like who knows? I'm not going to explain in great detail some of the medical stuff that I've read, but they're ingrained in my brain. Somehow that stuck with me. And so now at any moment when I'm wearing this thing, it's like, all right, don't go near a hanger. Let's just not be, or let's get away from a cat.
Yeah.
I don't want a cat's nail to get stuck in there.
A cat?
Yeah.
Cat? What the what?
There's been some, I've read some horror stories.
Cat-related injuries?
Yeah,
I don't want to know, but I want to know.
No, you don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
No.
I think like it's the value you put in something, right? So
yeah,
it's one of those things that it can become something that means a lot to you, and then you want to keep it safe.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other, like, I think it depends on from person to person, you know? Like the first time I ever got a ring, we were both broke.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a
Mhm.
really shitty ring, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And I mean, I kept it, but like we purchased it with the idea that we would upgrade. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
because it was
Oh, it's a
such a huge
starter ring.
compromise.
Starting
Yeah, yeah, and it was so bad, and it got dinged up, and it was hideous,
Oh
and
no,
you know what's
Jasmine,
crazy is now I love it,
Yeah.
like
Now it means
it's a
because
something
it's
level
more.
one
dinged up
ring,
Yeah.
and
right? It's a
shitty.
gray item,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, I kept it. Like I still have it, but I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's not even about the ring. It's about the part of my life that symbolizes,
Sure.
and I don't need to wear it to feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of what you were saying, Jerry, where you were like, it's, you know, it's such a huge symbol that I'm so fearful of losing it because it might affect like the actual
yeah.
what it represents. But I feel like I've come to evaluate that a lot in my life recently, where it's like these things that I associate with feelings or relationships, how much bearing do those things actually have on those things? And like trying to separate the meaning of something and be like, well, this is just a piece of metal. It's really the like relationship that it represents that's important, and how does that affect how I treat this thing? You know, like I still care about it, it means a lot to me, but how important is it?
Yeah. The
And how much does
sentimental
that affect
value
my life?
outweighs the actual value.
Yeah.
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 I would love to be able to believe that lie.
Oh. You said you're really superstitious, Jerry. Like, do you think that
Thoroughly.
if that ring got like, what would happen if you lost your ring?
When you said those words aloud, it began to rain in my heart.
Oof.
I can't even. It can't be allowed to happen. Let's put it that way. I try to engage my mind, on these things, but there's some of these things, like I have to allow myself a couple artisanal um worries.
Sure.
And that's one of the ones
yeah,
that
I think we
I
all do,
get,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Like I think we're all illogical about some things. Like the heart is what the heart is, right? Feelings are
Yeah.
feelings, and rationally, I'm sure on some level you know that it's just a
Yeah.
ring. It's not your
I
marriage,
know.
but
I know.
your feelings are your feelings, and that's okay. I think we're
Oh,
all
here,
that way about some things, right?
Yeah.
we have to be. I think that it's just a matter of like, so how do you, for lack of a better term, quarantine your terror, right? We're gonna have it as human beings. We're gonna be afraid of stuff. Where can we keep it, right? Where can we hold that stuff? So again, remember, superstitious, right? So a few years after that, Brenna lost her ring, by which I mean her wedding ring.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, we're going to the ring star. Like, we're gonna go get a ring. Like
you have to have one
in the next 2 days.
Right.
Right. And then 2 or 3 days after we came home with the new ring, she found the old ring. So that was.
Wait. So then what happened? Do you just have 2 rings? Did you have to get rid
I
of
don't
one
want
of
to talk
them?
about it, JP.
Did you take it to Mordor? What'd you do?
Dude, think about what that would. Think about how intractable that is for what we've already established is a completely nonsensical fear. Now, okay, so is the union apportioned in these 2 ritual devices?
It's 2 Horcruxes.
Is it equivalent? Yeah, exactly. Is it like the same amount on each one?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, they're both cool. I mean, it's very similar, I think, to what Jasmine said, in that the first ring that we had was a product of that time period. And so it's important in a different way. And because I can remember we were at Ben Bridge in the mall.
One of those old malls from yesteryear.
Right. That you've heard about from earlier in this show. But yeah, it's like that ring was there. And I remember like when we decided it's in quotes, when the correct ring was found, it's like, you know how sometimes a mall will have like a hallway and then it'll have sort of an inlet that goes into one of the larger stores. Right. There's stores right outside it, right? It was a mattress store, right kitty corner from the Ben Bridge ring store. And so I remember like after I sort of like really internalized like the type of like what it meant in terms of resources and time, I signed the paperwork and then I walked over to the bed store and just laid down. I just walked in and just laid down on my back.
That's why it's there. That's great positioning.
Yeah. So,
Beautiful
and then you were laying on it and you were like, this is the most comfortable I've ever been.
We got to get this fucking bed. Yeah.
This is going on the registry. This mattress right here.
For the upcoming wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you know the whole story.
There you go.
I could talk about mattresses for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
By the way.
We only have 1 hour left.
We've only got 1 hour left, but we could talk about mattresses for a while. What's your mattress go-to? Or what's your fascination, first off?
The fascination is that growing up, I always had like hand-me-down beds. Like I was sleeping on the bed my mom had as a kid. Like that kind of mattress.
Same
right?
here.
Stuffed with hay. They're caterpillars.
It was more, it was
it's
springs.
not a bed.
Like it was very much just a pallet of springs. And that's all I knew. And then when I got older, my mom got a new mattress, realized what she had been doing to the entire family, and then was like, you guys all need new mattresses. So this was this awakening where I was like, you spend 8 hours a day, hopefully, in this place. And same thing with chairs for all of us who work from home. Same thing.
Right.
Where it's like, they're so expensive and you feel so bad, like, oh, I can't spend all this money on this thing. But then when you contextualize how much time your body spends in that thing, it's like,
it's a good
so whenever someone's like, I'm thinking about getting a new mattress, I'm like, get it. Treat yourself. Get a mattress. Get a good mattress.
It's the first thing I bought when I got my first paycheck from MLG was a mattress when I was living on my own. Yep. It was like
it's one of those things like,
it's
not something you actively engage with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you never feel like it's worth spending money. I've seen people spend tons of money on their TVs, but not on their mattresses because it's like it's not something you actively engage with. You're unconscious when you're in it, and then
most of it,
but it influences your whole day, right? Like because how good you're sleeping influences a lot of things and how you're going to wake up and what that process is like and how you're going to feel when you wake up because most of us aren't 12 anymore. Like we wake up and we're like, oh God.
The anxiety immediately sets in. You're, fuck, give me my phone. I gotta go to Twitter. Oh my God, Twitter's back. Give me some.
And I regularly work out, right? So like I regularly lift. I lift with the trainer. And so I was like, well, I'm fit, so these things won't happen to me. No, that's not the case. I remember the first time I was working with a bunch of young people because, I feel like the median age of Twitch streamers is like trends towards really young. And we're all getting together to like do a project. And I was like, yeah, my shoulder really hurts. And one of the other cast members is like, what did you do? And I was like,
I slept. Yeah.
I opened the refrigerator.
That's what 19-year-olds are going to ask you though, right? When you're like freaking old. They're like, what did you do? And I'm like, no, you have this to look forward to. Your body's just going to give out on you one day. I don't know what to tell you.
What'd you do? The same thing you're going to do 10 years from now, damn it.
Right? Yeah. Like I stretch every day.
Can anyone in this show? We're just going to go around the room.
Okay.
What I would like to hear, if you have the means, I would like to hear one example of the sort of superhuman feats you were capable of when you were in that 1920 cadre. I will start.
Sure.
I regularly, routinely, 100% snuck into Brenna's house.
Ooh.
Like up like 2-story deal? What are we talking?
At night, yeah. So her bedroom was in the basement. I hope don't clip this.
We'll DMCA. Don't do it.
Thank you. Yes, that's
play some music. Let me get into club started.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, get
7 rings.
Sicko mode in here.
Yeah.
So I would this would happen. I would be up until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
And then I would sneak in there, and then I would leave there at like 4:30. And then I would go to work at 7 in the morning. And I could do this indefinitely. I could do it forever, as far as I can tell. I never found the upper bound on how many days I could exist in this liminal state.
Sure.
Did it only stop once you didn't have to sneak in anymore?
Exactly. And then basically at the same job I was at, as soon as I was able to find a place in what I would describe as, maybe the sort of part of town where, one hears gunshots frequently, but $280 a month, right?
Yeah.
Turned out pretty good.
Works out.
As soon as I did that, then we had other options available to us. So superhuman techniques.
Yeah.
What do we got?
I mean, I think
Powerful
drinking is probably the one that I would go to immediately.
Oh.
I used to be able to drink literally anything of whatever amount. I still have never thrown up from drinking before, but I've been blacked out multiple times, and I didn't used to get a hangover, but now if I have like a glass of wine, just write the next day off. It's fine. It's done. Like I can't.
Really, the sulfites.
I can't function the next day from more than 2 or 3 drinks. And that's probably in the past year or two that's become a thing.
It's funny. I remember it's like there was a period of time I was just like, I remember like drinking being a source of energy.
Yeah. Like I used to look forward to it, and now it's like, all right, well, let me check my calendar. Let me see what the next 2 days have planned for them, because I'll just have to cancel.
Break it down. It's like I used to be able to onboard an incredible amount of poison.
Yeah.
And now I just can't drink as much poison as I used to. It's a weird thing. It's a weird flex, but
yeah, it's true.
It's
true.
So superhuman techniques. Do we have anything from Anna or Jasmine? Powerful techniques.
Anna, do you want to go first?
Sure. I in college around that time, 18, 19, 20, I used to sleep similar to what you were saying, Jerry. I used to sleep 3 hours a night, always, every day. And I would spend my time when all of the like other people in my dorm or whatever went to sleep and I was alone. I used that time to learn Photoshop. And I just would like dither around on Photoshop. I don't even understand. Like now I'm like, what? How could that entertain me? But I did. I would just take a picture and play with it and like put song lyrics on it and print it out and put it on my wall. Like
hell yeah.
And I got so used to this that like if I slept more than 3 hours, I felt horrible. Like I felt asleep and I couldn't pay attention to my classes. And then one day I just fell asleep and slept like a whole weekend and then could never do it again. So I think that like I'm pretty sure I gave myself an extended sleep deprivation high that I didn't understand. And then my body was like, fuck you,
you're done.
And then now when I'm tired, I just fall asleep. Period.
Get revoked.
Like I am just asleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. I could definitely get by on very little sleep when I was younger. But I think like the biggest one, I don't know, maybe this is too deep. I think it was like my emotional elasticity.
Ooh.
Like when I was young,
sure.
Like I had bad breakups. I had shit happen to me, and I was just like,
anyways,
like borderline sociopathic. You know what I mean? Where I was like, I'd go out with my friends, have a drink, and I'd be like, F that dude, and move on. And now, if I have a friendship fall apart, I am fucked for like 6 months. I don't even know how to describe it.
It is an interesting thing to think about. I think it's a lot of it is the idea of what's happening emotionally, and so you're able to understand the processes which is occurring. Where when you're as a kid, you're just like, fuck it, let's go see the new Pokemon movie. I heard Ash dies. Like,
right?
Yeah. You just
like
move
when you're
on.
a kid, you just like, especially when you're in your teens, everything is just, it's almost like you're just like, this is just such a small part of my life. This is just such a small part of my life. I don't really care. And then, years later, when you're in therapy, you realize like that actually did mess you up. You just never talked about it. You never processed it. You never went. And so now when something happens, like, either I process this now or I'm going to have bad self-esteem for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like you understand the gravity of what's happening. Because there are things from back then that people said to me that bothered me. But I think
but you don't know it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All of us have it. Like something somebody said to you in college or something that an ex-girlfriend said to you, and you're like, and you compartmentalize it, you push it down. It influences your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you look at people that are like, oh, I always check my girlfriend's phone and stuff. Usually that comes from like obviously immaturity, but also from a place of like not acknowledging like, whoa, somebody really breached your trust. And so when you're young, I feel like you just mash all that down and you ignore it. And then when you get older,
you gotta be cool.
Yeah.
Just be cool.
Yeah. And when you get older, you're just like this little thing that happened to me when I was 19 still informs my behavior today, and it's ruining my relationships today. And so because you're an adult and you know it's happening, you process all that hurt as it happens.
Right.
You're conscious of it at all.
I really miss my teenage ability to be able to just push it down. Like I really wish I had that ability to just trash it down in a trash compactor and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because that was a really good ability. I remember like bad shit would happen, and the next day I was like in school, you know, kicking butt, and now I'm just like,
I need like a 3 or 4 days.
Wisdom. Like I feel like I relate to this so much. This is so wise. I'm so glad you went last because that is absolutely the best one. Like
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It's like now something happens in Dungeons and fucking Dragons, and I'm a wreck for a month. Like it's just.
Our emotional elasticity has changed, y'all.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's like the cartilage.
Yeah. A lot of times the D&D thing is because it's accessing a lot of that stuff that we like
100%
press down.
Every D&D event is just something subconsciously from someone that created it. Yeah, 100%.
It's a mythical framework, right? That just taps into all this evil horse shit.
Yeah, and it's presented as a level 7 goblin or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Anna?
I always get jealous when I see adults who can still do it. I'm like almost. On one hand, you're like you're emotionally immature, but on the other hand, you're like, damn, that level of lack of self-awareness must be so nice.
I think my jealousy comes in the frame of just calling them a sociopath, right? It's like, how are you not?
JP, you can't just call people sociopaths.
Twitter tells me otherwise. All right, you can just throw that out there whenever you feel like it. Yeah.
Because then it just adds insult to injury, right? Like when you're hurt over something that somebody else has like. But you just have to understand, like, 10 years from now, they're going to be in a therapy room and they're going to be like.
They're going to realize it 10 years from now.
And you will have already gone through the shit, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say is that it helps me contextualize this idea of like yet another thing that you're more grown up. So you need to be responsible and do something the right way where it's like, yeah, sure, you could stuff it down, but you know the consequences of that. You know that like eventually it'll hurt you in the long run, probably hurt other people in the long run. And the like idea of leaning into your feelings, even when they're bad, because ultimately that's what'll get you through them.
Yeah.
It's such an adult thing that is so different than being a kid. I was reading this book. I can't remember what it's called. I should look it up. But it was about, it dealt with that specific thing. What was it? Oh, Welcoming the Unwelcome by Pema Kadrone. And it was talking about how it comes from a Buddhist perspective, but it's applicable to everyone. She was talking about the temptation we have to, like, if you see a video of someone mistreating a dog, for example, like the temptation is turn away. You don't want to look at that. It hurts you. And she was like, I suggest that you get in the habit of being able to look at that and name your feelings and lean into the feelings you're having, because understanding how upset that makes you will actually make you a better global citizen. It will actually make you understand how wrong you feel like that treatment is and understand what might bring someone to treat a dog that way.
Right. It'll generate empathy, essentially.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily empathy for the person, but help you be to the point where you can be like, I want to make sure that I never facilitate someone becoming that cruel. So when someone is hurting, I'm going to try to engage with them in a way that doesn't push them further into cruelty, because I never want this to happen again. And certainly not describing it well. So if you want to actually, understand
very sophisticated
very complicated, spiritual learning, read the book, Welcoming the Unwelcome. But that idea has really shaped how I'm dealing with a lot of stuff where it's like, we have this temptation, kind of like you're saying, Jasmine, to be like, okay, I'm going to put that away. I'm just going to keep living about a lot of things. But instead, leaning into something that makes you uncomfortable helps you get through it faster and develop from it and become stronger faster. Which
and it
to me
helps you be a better person. So like when I was younger, if I respected someone or someone was my friend or if I liked them, like let's say JP and I were friends when we were 19. If JP said something like, you know what, you're really self-centered. At that time, I would have been like, well, JP's not my friend anymore. Clearly he's an asshole.
Just write him off.
Right?
Write me off, not him. Sorry.
I feel like we all did that. I feel like a lot of us did that, right? But then when you get older, you're like, JP's one of my best friends. I don't think I can handle the loss of losing JP because now you know what that friendship meant. Whereas when you were 19, you didn't understand what that friendship meant.
Right.
So when somebody that you care about and respect says you're self-centered, you do the uncomfortable thing, which is be like, am I?
Right. You self-reflect,
right.
or go to the person and say, can you explain that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
whereas when you're young, you're just like,
and as you're young, it goes both ways, right? Like if you would have come to me, I'm not going to explain that to you. Fuck off, right? But now, if I was older, I would hopefully explain it to you. Yeah.
Well, and obviously as an adult, it's like I'm going to take something like that, I'm going to onboard it, I'm going to process it, and I'm going to try to find a way to retain that connection with JP because otherwise I'm not going to get an invite to the pre-show.
Yes, right, and, exactly.
And that's going to, and that's why. It's because I need the access to this audience.
Exactly. So, yeah. You got it. Sacrifices, Jerry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So you could do a lot, and it'd be fine.
And I'd figure a way to explain it. All this relates to like creating healthy boundaries too, which I think a lot of us struggle with when we're online content creators that share a lot of our personality and feelings in life with people. Where it's like, okay, how much of this do I allow in? How much of it do I say, okay, it's appropriate to set this boundary where like this is just mine and no one else gets to comment on it, and I feel like that idea too of going to your friend and asking why they said that is another really good example of where as an adult you have to do that hard work of like, okay, well, they said I was self-centered, I've talked to them about it, I think they're wrong, my boundary is I'm no longer going to allow them to comment on my personality, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm so interested in how that relates to specifically our subset of like online internet culture.
I've said for a long time, and especially after being in therapy for about 2 years, people in the content creation world are pretty fucked. Like we're in a bad spot for that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think over the next couple of years,
I think it's going to be a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a while till it really shows. But
people as platform lack a lot of empathy, and I think they're so used to being told that they're right.
Yeah, like echo chambers are a real thing for sure.
Yeah, so I have to balance myself with that because I know that my audience and the people who follow me are always going to support what I say, and I'm always going to be right, and with that comes a lot of responsibility.
Right.
And so I do a lot of work with like counselors and stuff to make sure that that does not get to my head, that I do not think that I'm always right, that I do not think that, because we are told constantly by people like, you're the best, you make my day better every single time you go live, so you start to get like this like idea of like, oh, well, clearly if all these people say I'm a good person, I can't be. Those people don't really know you. You could go off camera and beat your dog. Like they don't.
Right.
So you're being told
this is Twitch. That can happen on camera. So that's fine.
Jerry keeping it real. I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times it's like, and good people are capable of doing bad things, and bad people are capable of doing good things because it's like being good is like a work you do, right? It's not something you are. It's something
the eternal
you try
fight.
to be.
Yeah.
So this idea of like, oh well, you said this thing or you did this thing. But, you're going to have all these people that have been telling you for years.
Yeah.
Which is why when somebody gets like anytime somebody gets canceled, I feel like they always act like I don't know how this happened. And it's just like.
Oh, because they have this other monolithic message for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And they can be buoyed by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think it'll be. I think it might be 10 years until the real assessments of what this kind of presence like means and like what it effectuates on a person's psychology.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out some stuff, and it's not gonna happen now.
I'm sure.
It's
Yeah.
gonna happen later where we figure out what this actually looks like, I think.
Definitely.
Long term for people.
I would say the majority of streamers at one point or another are going to develop anxiety issues. 100%. Just the job in itself of
you'd
like
have
being
to.
live and like being data driven in a job and having that data always, make your decisions essentially, to flesh that
Well, one
out.
of the first
like,
conversations,
it's gonna create
JP,
it.
one of the first conversations you and I ever had. I'm trying to think, where was it?
Might have been
Was it
on
at
Twitter
TwitchCon?
DM. What? Or it might
No,
have
no,
been at
it was at TwitchCon. It was we actually sat down and like got
we
something
were
to
in.
eat.
Oh
Aurelian
my
was there.
god, I can't remember what person to person conversations were like, Jerry.
Yeah.
It was so
No,
long.
but it was. We were hanging out. It was so cool. But we had talked about it, and you were talking about because I sort of consider you like my stream father, right? I didn't know anything about
Sure.
it, and I needed information about sort of how it worked and how to comport myself and try to understand some of the etiquette because it's quite unique.
Sure.
And you always help me with that, and I really appreciate it. But you had described a situation to me where you needed to take a break. It was time to go on a vacation or something like that. And what that means materially, mechanically,
Yeah.
in this ecosystem is that you lose an incredible amount of money.
Yeah. For most cases, yeah, for sure. It's something you have to plan for so much further ahead now, in this industry.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I was horrified. And you seemed to you had put a good face on it. You're like, yeah, this is just the truth. This is just the truth. This is how it works. If I ever stop for a second, I'll be annihilated.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right, whiskey sour, please.
Right. Yeah.
Keep
I
it
think
coming,
we
I
started
guess.
drinking probably right after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like another part that feeds into it is not only is it a business that does not sustain itself, but we've gamified like our likability.
Yep.
So I think for a lot of us, we associate our success with people like me and they like what I'm making.
Oh, yeah.
And then when those numbers drop, we might be making the same content. Like I think logically we know, like, well, of course, my channel's going through a lull. I just came back after a long break. That doesn't mean my show sucks. That doesn't mean I've lost it. That doesn't mean that I'm not talented. Because you might be putting on the same type of podcasts and shows you were putting on when you left, right? But we assign like at the end of the day, we're all creatives. We have all these cool ideas, and then you sit there and you try to make things work and they don't take off. And all you can think is people don't like me anymore. I'm not funny anymore. I'm not creative anymore because I think we all know that's not true.
Yeah.
I hope so.
This is like, it's about marketing, right? There's like so
yeah.
many other factors that come into, like we could have done this same show like 12 years ago on your channel, JP, and it wouldn't have had this many viewers, right?
Right. Yeah.
It would have been the same show. There's a lot of other factors that come into it. But
Totally.
I think like we've gamified popularity and likability. And so then when that goes away, we're just like, no one likes me.
Right.
But we've been gamified too.
Yes. The
By a
platforms
structure
also
that sits on top of that, right?
The
I mean,
platforms exist
I'm not discounting that. How we internalize that and what it means to us. I think that's all true as well. But there is also gamification of the space by an external force as well. So I'm actually like, I have been at this, I guess, I mean, pre-Twitch, obviously, but I've just been around since 98 doing different types of content, I guess.
Right.
And so I guess I've just been around long enough to see that sine wave. And so it can go down and go up. And it going up means as much to me as it going down.
Eventually, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that might be the point when you realize that you've been doing it for a while is when that happens. When you can finally just like not care or not look or exactly what you said. If there's a plus or minus, it's the same feeling. It's like, okay, great. There's stability. Yeah. You see that as stability rather than a plus or minus.
Exactly. You can normalize the sine wave.
Right.
And so it's like, and I think that we've all sort of been around enough that we know what it feels like when we're doing our best work. And so we try to find that instead of the other thing, I think.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will protect us a little bit, right?
Yeah. I think this, in some sense, the advent of gifted subs, at least on Twitch, I think some of the other platforms have it now as well, kind of like put a magnifying scope on that stuff, because it is such a...
Tell me what you mean.
It's such a, like, if I know a lot of smaller creators that get a shit ton of gifted subs for that specific month and view it as like, I've made it. Like, this is it. I'm set. And then a month later, it drops, and it's just like the lowest of lows. And so in some cases,
because you feel it going on.
Yeah, you're riding that high and you don't recognize it. And I think that's true for any creator. I don't want to single out smaller creators, but any creator that gets a shit ton of gifted subs, you have to know a month from now it's going to drop, no matter what. Maybe 5 or 6 will retain if you're lucky, but it's going to drop. And so that is a very scary thing that I don't think a lot of people have processed yet, for sure. And I don't think it's going to be able to be processed for some time, because it's such like a new function. But
yeah.
And I think the temptation is to commodify your personality so completely, especially when you're just starting out too, to be like, I'm going to give people access to everything I think and feel because they like it, and that's going to benefit me. And I think sometimes that causes a lot of harm too in the long run, not only to your business, but to yourself. Because like you were saying, that connection to, I see it drop, and therefore that's connected to like, people don't like me, or like, I have something going on in my life that I want to be more private, and I don't want people to give me advice on or like comment on, and I can't do that because I've already made my life so public, or I've identified an area in my life where I want to improve, and so I need to like really look at my mistakes, but I can't communicate my mistakes, because if I do, then that will diminish my likability, which is like a whole area of human development that is hindered by that, you know? So I feel like I had to learn that a little bit the hard way, because I had this idea of like, I'm an open book. Anyone can know anything about me. That's part of my brand. And the truth is that no matter who you are, you're playing a character on Twitch, and it's important to recognize which parts of your character are, you know, how deep your character goes in revealing yourself, you know?
Yep.
Anna, are you saying that we're playing characters even when we're not on D&D shows?
It's like Inception. When you're streaming D&D, you're playing a character of a character. Sometimes of a character if it's real meta, you know?
I had to come to the realization, like, kind of recently, because I always was like, I am who I am, right? But I think it is a little bit of a character, because there's certain things I hold back because I don't think they're other people's problems, right? But like, who I am in real life doesn't hold that back. But like, when I'm on my stream, if I feel anxiety, it happens. If I feel sad, I'm just like, nobody else needs to hear that shit. They're here to have a good time. So I might hold that back.
Right.
And so recently, this week has been rough for me. I've been through a lot of life changes. Don't really want to get into it.
Don't have to.
And it spilled out on stream. I started sobbing,
shit.
like ugly sobbing.
Yeah.
And
no.
I felt so bad for my community, because I think a lot of them view me as like a fortress, right? Because I've never, but like the dam cracked. And it got to the point where I'm normally so good with boundaries, I'm so good with privacy, that I just had to like disclose it and just tell people, because I couldn't hide it, you know? And I think it changed a lot. Like, I still struggle with like, I think people change their opinion on me. Like that's hard for me to process, where I'm like, people probably think I'm crazy. People probably think I'm losing my mind. People are probably like, what the hell is going on? But it's like, that was always there. I just did such a good job of like
suppressed
being like,
it.
Shows on, nobody wants to hear about my bullshit. And then one day I logged in and I was like, show's on, no one wants to hear about oh my God.
Right. The cracks oftentimes will show. Yeah, 100%.
Dude,
and everyone was just like, what is happening? Is she okay? Gift her 100 subs. What do we do to make streamer Chan happy? And I'm like, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I mean, I've been in your chat. That is a wholesome place. Like your corner of this is so good. And the truth is that my suspicion is that you've basically kept it as real as you can. My guess is that they knew that was there. I mean, that's my suspicion.
Sure.
Right? You put a lot of yourself out here, right? And so it's and sort of, you can see it in the negative space, like of a person's character and their persona. They come out there. I think that they've got you. That would be my guess. Just having been in there before. Yeah, that would be my suspicion.
So I guess I didn't fail with my creator persona.
Yeah, you're still going.
No. In fact, it's only meta.
Yeah, it's only exactly.
You've reached the next level.
Monetize your pain.
Now there can be more. Now there can be more elaborate,
Jesus.
high resolution disclosures of the persona.
Dude,
Yeah.
You're gonna turn this into a win.
Me crying on my OnlyFans.
There you go. Tune it in.
Sub for $12 a month
to see my cry streams. That's my new business model right there.
We were doing a cooking stream yesterday, and I had the realization for some reason that you could do a cooking stream on OnlyFans and be nude at the same time, and how much like more of a spectacle that would be.
Bucks.
Right?
That's what it is. It's bucks.
So I guess what I'm happy to announce is tune in next month. We'll be doing
OnlyPans. Should be the name of the show.
A branding genius here in
and the photo is like
I'm just thinking of like how
bits.
dangerous that is.
Oh, that's probably very dangerous.
Oil
here, hold on. Here, look at my son. Look at my awesome son. Well, here, just come down. Just hunker down.
Do his math.
This is my silky boy. Oh, he's so nice. I'll print out your math sheet. It's fine. I'll do it. Here, Ronya. Here, I'm on. Oh, here. No, Ronya. Do you have any TikTok dances you'd like to do?
I saw it.
Very bad at
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, good.
We got a T-pose though.
I'll be on in a sec. Oh no! See, no, he's T-posing to assert his dominance.
Yeah.
I told you he was a zoomer.
Now, Jerry,
what did I tell you?
After seeing your children's hair, was that a reflection of the past, Jerry? Did you have long orange hair?
Yeah, when I was a very young kid, I had strawberry blonde hair, and then it became something vile, and then began to retreat. And so I told it, I communicated to the follicles that I would determine their configuration.
Right.
It wasn't up to them. But no, strawberry blonde when I was a little kid, and so we were overjoyed when Elliot was born because it was clear that the red hair was already present. And then with Ronya, it was even more so.
Yeah.
So everyone who has hair in this family has red hair.
Gotcha.
And that includes one of the cats.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
All encompassing. Well, print out the math sheet, Jerry. They can't.
Oh no, I got it. Here, you just discuss amongst yourselves.
I was just gonna say, like,
okay,
Bronze, you totally didn't fail because the other day I started crying on stream because the visible reason was that I couldn't get the game I wanted to set up to work, and I started crying.
Shit.
And everyone was like, "It's okay," and I was like, "No, you don't understand. I have to go and in my stream because I had so much going on behind the scenes that I couldn't keep it back either. So it's probably better that you explained what was going on instead of my community being like."
Right, that's the big fear.
What's happening?
Usually it's like something small that sets you off though, right? Like
yeah.
I remember I was prepping for a cooking stream once and I thought everything was fine. I thought everything was great. And, my friend was trying to help me set up and I remember like I kind of blew up on her. I felt really bad about it, but I was like, I give up. I'm bad at streaming. I'm bad at everything. The show's late. It's ruined now. I woke up 2 hours early and it still wasn't enough time. I'm done. It's done. And she's like, well, let's just use my laptop and see what we can do here. Because I just straight up had a meltdown. And what I really think it was is it was like a culmination of so many other things.
In that
And I
moment,
think it was
yeah.
just me, yeah. And I think it was just me like realizing I had put way too much on my plate, like just in general.
Yeah.
And so like, but I felt the need to deliver. And so when I ended up drinking a glass of wine, and this is a morning stream.
Nice.
And I still, or it was a mimosa. It was a mimosa because we determined that was classy.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I had a mimosa, and then somebody complained about the audio. They're like, "Your audio is kind of bad." I was like, "I don't care,"
Fuck you.
because like I think I needed to just be like, "You're lucky, you bitches are lucky I'm here." Because I don't care.
Got the ego
I have
about
too
it.
much on my plate right now.
Yeah.
But I had
It's
to
an
have
also
that like
issue.
realization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are like, "Oh, that it'll always be something like that freaks you out." It's like your phone charger broke,
Yeah.
and that's when you're like, "God, why just
Yeah.
strike me dead right now? Just freaking
Yeah.
kill me."
Right.
It's when the routine, like that routine sort of
Yes.
provides that sort of substrate. It sort of provides like the low water level, right? It's like as long as I can maintain this is like my median level of energy that I can bring to something. And then if something fucks up with that, right?
That happened to
I mean,
me
really
last
can happen.
night.
But as long as I can keep my phone charged, shit's okay.
Yeah. Just pull up Twitter and scroll through it. You're good.
Dude,
Just compartmentalize it.
when I'm tired, remember the like when I'm tired I have to fall asleep thing. It makes evenings horrible if something goes wrong. Last night I had this whole plan. I was like, I'm gonna wash everything on my bed, so it's gonna be like so nice and clean when I go to bed, and I'm gonna go to bed early so I can wake up and be so entertaining on the pre-show in the morning.
No.
I think I know where this
And I
is
washed
going.
my whole bed.
I'm stressed out. And I'm stressed out.
Anytime you wash the bed, it's stressing out. Go ahead.
It is a stressful. I started early in the morning too. I thought I had it. I did have it. I went to make the bed, made everything.
Oh.
One pillowcase was missing.
Oh.
Do I have other pillowcases? Yes, I do. Could I have put one of those on and gone to bed? Totally could have. But it was so, I had my heart set on this pillowcase, and I can't, because there's no way I should have lost a pillowcase between the washer and here. There's no way that it's not in this house. I'm going to find it before I go to bed. I did not find the pillowcase.
Still haven't found it? Didn't find it this morning?
Spoiler alert.
No. Yeah.
No.
It's in your
And
sheet.
press F.
Yeah.
I bet
I
you
want
it's
to say
like
F's in the chat.
Oh, yeah. It might be
yeah, it's
under
probably
the sheet
in
or
the
something.
duvet
Yeah.
or something. But I don't know. But
That's
the
it.
good
It's in
part,
something else.
Yeah. But the good part of this is that I am learning to identify it quicker. So instead of staying up until I found the pillowcase, I only huffed and puffed for 45 minutes until I realized that this was a sleep Anna problem, and that awake Anna needed to go get another pillowcase and put it on there and put sleep Anna to bed. So
you got a step further. So I have to applaud you for that, because when I wash the sheets, it's at 8 p.m. And then
oh no!
And then I'm laying in
the
bed.
bed is stripped.
And I'm laying in bed at like 10.
It's like 10 p.m.
Well, do I go to sleep with no
How
sheets,
could you?
or do I stay up?
You mutant.
And so then it's the stress of like, well, I guess I'm going to stay up a little bit longer and just wait for that fucking jingle to go off to put this. Oh God, I have to start it over again. They're still wet. No,
the stream is wrecking me.
So,
dude, that's I've been there so many times, and I hate myself for it.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
There is something very exhausting. Even if it's in the middle of the afternoon, there is something incredibly exhausting about a bed that has been stripped.
Yeah.
You're like, what if I needed to go to sleep right now? I mean, that's, it's 1 in the afternoon.
Well, in my situation, it's we have a very large dog, and the dog likes to jump up on the bed.
I've seen it.
And so,
seen the pictures.
Yeah, when Ollie decides to jump up on the bed and there's no sheets on it, that's that's
Trouble Town. Trouble Town, USA.
Exactly.
I think I need somebody that just follows me around and tells me like when I've like committed to too much, because like I think all of us do it, where we're like, okay, so this morning I'm gonna do the pre-show, I'm gonna do this, then I should have time to paint my nails while my clothes are in the dryer, and then what happens is like the dryer dings and I need to change them, my nails are wet, and I'm like,
they're
how
wet.
has this happened? How has this happened to me again? Right? And I just need somebody to follow me around and be like, paint your nails tomorrow. What? Bitch, paint your fucking nails tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I could just like not have this like Jenga tower.
Yeah.
Just like stuff that
torment.
I think streamers, especially those, like I think we do it too much, where we're like, okay, I'm gonna do my stream, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna move into my new place, and it's gonna be don't do your stream today. What?
Yeah.
Don't do your stream today because your stream is going to end at like 4 p.m. and everything's going to take you longer than you think it is, and just take the day off and just spend today putting things into boxes. No. I got to get at least a 4-hour stream. 4 hours is a long time.
Right.
4 hours is a lot of time you can spend
Hell
packing.
yeah,
It's
it
not
is.
that much time streaming, right?
No, lead up and lead out.
Streamer brain is like, that's a short stream. 4 hours is not a short stream. 4 hours is a lot of time.
Well,
Well, you don't look at it through the lens of streaming.
Exactly. So JP had put up a text, and he knows what I'm about to say. He had put up a text. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna build some IKEA furniture and just be here at the house. No stream today." I sent him a DM, and I'm like, "Dude, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are things okay at home?"
I had to build these shelves. That's what I was doing.
Yeah,
that day.
exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
They work. I have the same set. They're great.
They're great. They're great shelves. But
That's another thing too. The temptation to stream everything. Like my first thought when I'm like, I have to put together furniture is like, oh, can I point a camera at it? Can I be streaming while I do that?
Yeah, I've
and
gotten
like that
better about that over the years, but it's still a real thing for sure.
I don't think I have.
There's the man who just started a cooking show.
I painted my wall on stream, and that's better. So
I don't know. I feel like I feel this pressure. Like if I'm streaming, then I'm here to put on a show, and I'm really critical about my work. So I'm always my problem is I'm always like, no one wants to watch this. Like so I have the opposite problem where I'm like, no one wants to watch this. And I was talking about that. I was like, yeah, I'm still working on my Warhammer army. You know, I have to assemble it all off stream. And so many of my viewers are like, why don't you assemble it on stream? I'm like, no one wants to watch that.
Right.
And so many of them are like, we would.
Faction, Jasmine. What faction?
I'm currently working on a Necron army and then an Orc army.
Same.
And I just got a Battle Sisters box. So.
Oh, Sororitas.
That is a money pit. Box? I'm so glad
you were able to find one. Holy shit!
Wait, no. It's not the big box. It's like 2 of the small boxes and then the flagellant.
Sure.
Yeah, because I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer for like the new edition, and I was like,
and there's a Battle Sister in there, fucking laying it down.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna buy a box of them.
We can do this. Cute. Yeah, so that's just that's for Warcry. Are you? Last time we talked, I think that you were getting into Kill Team or something like that.
Yep, and that is the format I'm selling. None of my minis are painted yet. Half are assembled. Of those, half are primed because God knows Seattle weather is not conducive to spray paint.
No, to drying things. No, we don't.
So I have like 2 days out of the last 6 months I was able to like spray paint things, but I'm getting there. But so much of I was like, I don't have time. I do like a 7 to 8 hour stream, and then I do this and do that and do the other, and I only have like a little bit of time every week. And so many people are like, just do it on your stream. Like in 8 hours, you could do a lot of assembling and painting. And I'm like, nobody wants to watch that. I have the opposite problem of not streaming anything other than my show.
At some point, you're doing it. I will say you're doing it right in the sense of keeping things that you enjoy off stream is the better route.
Vital.
It's
vital for
super
sure.
vital. Yeah.
That being said, I would like to see it. Bare minimum.
Jerry's part of the problem.
Bare minimum. I'm an enabler.
Yes.
On many axes.
Mm-hmm.
Bare minimum. We used to do on Thursdays. We would do tabletop stuff, and then sometimes on Tuesday afternoons as well.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of Kill Team on there as well. So in the world after this, where my studio exists again, if you've got some, we don't have a strict painting rule or anything like that either. If you just want to come in and throw plastic at each other, consider that. I would love to play against some of those factions for sure. I'm kind of spooked at what Necron at 100 points. I'm kind of spooked at what Necron army's capable of, honestly, especially in Kill Team.
I accidentally put the wrong head on my death mark. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like give him like a little scar so that because the death mark usually has like one big eye. So I think I'm gonna like give him a little scar and just paint the other eye to glow and like so now he. Still a sniper, because the other eyes, but because I put the wrong head on there, I don't know how to do it.
There's a new Necron base set. There's a new Necron base set coming out, and a lot of the new Necron heads have cracks, just like the one you've described. A lot of the new sculpts. Check them out. They look super cool.
That'll be awesome.
Anyway, here, so it's 11:40, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, how should we comport ourselves for the last 20 minutes?
I love that way you phrase that.
Yeah. What? Hold on. What was
Yeah.
that word? What was that $20 word? Comport?
Oh, yeah.
What is
Sorry.
the etiquette that we
Yeah,
must follow
yeah.
for the remaining
I mean,
20 minutes?
I'm saying that there is definitely there's a couple games that I have been playing that I think might provide joy generally
Yeah.
that might be worth discussing
Sure.
to
thought that was a
increase the
rule.
overall stock of joy.
We had rules, and then I got rid of the rules. Now there's no rules.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Are you calling me a downer, Jerry?
Whoa.
No. I'm ready to continue building the mausoleum. I stand ready. You have my axe, etc. I'm just curious. In general, I just want to be a good guest, and so to whatever extent I can manifest that, I want to do that.
Well, what have you been playing? What's your I don't want to say drug of choice. That's so negative. That's such a negative way to say that. What games have you been enjoying recently, Jerry? What have been bringing
dwarf
positivity?
Of choice,
yeah.
Which is Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, okay.
I love that game.
Have you been playing?
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I don't know that
because it just hit final release like what 10 days ago ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So it's actually quite fresh, even though it's been in early access for like 18. The final version of this, like, you know how sometimes games enter early access and never leave?
Right.
Right? Or they enter early access and then become real products and are not improved.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is like beginning to end. Like the last 2 years have just been such an aggressive march toward making it a really, really special experience. It's such an easy suggestion to make. And then they've done everything they can to make it. We should establish, I guess, what it is.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
I'm watching the trailer right now. It looks really fun to watch too.
Anna, I've streamed it a couple times. I think it is really, really special. So the basic idea is, I have a hard time with roguelike games where like absolutely everything is randomly or is procedurally generated. And this isn't like that. So you basically are dwarves on a mining ship in space, and then you get sent down into this into the surface of this planet to there's different mission types, but essentially you go out there and extract different types of stuff. Everything about it feels so physical and real. Like every swing of these picks, and you're basically going through this game with your friends. You're trying to collect these minerals and resources, but you're also, just by the virtue of playing it, trying to solve all these really crazy navigation puzzles, trying to get through these these procedurally generated places. And it's every one of the four archetypes. Oh, I'm sorry. Every one of the four archetypes has a different means that only they know how to do for traveling around in these places. Right. So now, I want to hear the Jasmine vote.
It gets super hectic because you want to balance making as much money as you can versus getting what you need to get and getting the heck out, because the game gets crazier as you're playing it. It's very like Left 4 Dead like in that way.
Yes,
but I think my favorite thing, I think my favorite thing about it is when you get a group together and you got the chemistry that just goes. There's like the serotonin levels in my brain rush when one of my friends is falling and I launch a platform underneath them to catch them, or when I'm stuck and I've been left behind and they launch a zip line so I can zip line over to them if I fall down into a pit. Like, you are truly working together. It's not like, oh well, because I feel like most co-op games, it's like, here's the thing I'm good at, and here's the thing this other person's good at.
No.
But like in Deep Rock Galactic,
4 people,
you need each other. Like, you really do need each other. It's not that like no one else is going to be able to make a platform other than me. Like, so you just get this like really good cohesion going.
So it's just, so just first of all, look at the joy on the faces. You can have this. You can go and get it. And there's a new update. They just exposed the beta branch Jasmine, that has some
so they're still updating
gameplay
it.
updates.
Still pushing
Oh
updates. Cool.
their roadmap goes out to the end of the year, and it's all new stuff, new biomes, even like big stuff.
Huh.
But the crazy thing about it is there's a lot of games on the procedural side or on the co-op side where it's sort of like 4 people are playing solitaire by each other, right?
Sure.
They're not really meshed together, and so because they're not meshed together, and because you don't need each other, they aren't really social. Like if all you can offer me is like slightly fewer mobs coming at me, we're not really engaging socially. And the last time I felt this good, like playing a game with other people, I shit you not, is Donkey Konga on the GameCube.
What?
And this
That's
is
a
a
throwback.
game.
Is that the one with the bongos? What was Donkey Konga?
You are
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Okay.
the bongo one.
Okay.
This is a game where you play bongos and clap with your friends at certain times, and just like the amount of affection and camaraderie that just comes if you clap at the same time as another person is very high. And when you're in this nightmare hellhole, because in addition to everything else, it's also like a horde mode type game.
There's like
where you're
spiders
getting-
and shit, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
constant waves of, in some cases, almost invulnerable from the front monsters that require you to have a strategy of some kind. And then once you've accomplished the task, you have to get back to your ship through everything that you bored and tunneled through. And so the whole thing is about complex navigation puzzles. Then you need to do it in reverse in a couple minutes at the end. It has never not been exciting.
Mhm.
Even when it's easy, you're like, thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And
Right?
usually one of your friends will inevitably leave you behind, and then you carry over that grudge into the next game.
So that okay.
Yes. But if anybody gets out, the mission is considered completed, right?
So just one person.
Yeah.
So
one person
exactly.
needs to succeed.
Here's a scenario. Let's all consider this. What a nightmare it is to play a cooperative game, because if you want somebody else to join, you have to wait. If I want to play Valorant with somebody, they can't come in mid-match.
Right.
I have to wait until after I play. I think the last version, a round of Valorant lasts 3,000 individual matches, and so it's sort of like a rain check. It's like, oh, you'd like me to play with you? Well, that's clearly fucking impossible. So so why don't you tell me when you're not doing that, or why don't you wait next time and invite me and then join the game? Because then it'll be possible for us to play. I say that's the typical multiplayer experience.
Right.
Have you ever had somebody join in progress?
Very
Jasmine?
rarely. Oh, you're talking to Jasmine specifically.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like calling in reinforcements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hit the button. You don't even have to invite them. If they're
No.
your friend, they can click join on your game. The voice, so the boss is always talking to you, right? The boss is like, hey, fresh reinforcements have arrived.
Mhm.
It puts your ally in a dwarf-sized drill ship that bores directly down through the
Cool.
entire level and they pop up right by you, ready to help. So it isn't
Cool.
like I have to wait in between. It isn't like they pop back up at the ship and they have to come all the way down here. It's like a co-op game that they invented and actually thought about what it would be like to play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's bonks.
Yeah.
It's bonks.
This is a glowing recommendation. You're selling it.
Pretty strong, right?
It's pretty
It's
dope.
exquisite.
I'm pretty into it.
It's exquisite.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Difficulty wise, what are you? Where do you rate it?
You get to choose.
It runs the whole gamut.
Oh,
so
really?
Like you have
Okay.
So you have different areas that have different hazards, and then you get to choose the difficulty level of each area you go to. So the missions range in difficulty, but then you can also up the difficulty yourself, like subsequent to that, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So the game can be as easy or as difficult as you want. And there's a lot of cool unlockables and perks. There's skill trees. And so there's like real progression. So even if you fail a mission and you don't get all the minerals you want, there's still like this idea of like progressing forward, and you kind of mostly level skills by using them, I feel like. So you'll learn like what in that tree is valuable to you and what isn't. Maybe you use a lot, maybe you use the platform gun a lot. So maybe that's the thing you want to be able to carry more ammo for. Or maybe you want the ability to empty resources into your mule faster, because maybe you're the person that does all the drilling and you need to be able to do that. So you can like kind of, as you play, figure out what type of play style that like matches you and then put points in there. I feel like I'm doing an E3 presentation.
I mean,
It's
it
really
is the
good.
weekend where E3 would be occurring, so you're just channeling what you want.
Yeah.
I knew this information, and I was still enraptured. So
I have to know what dwarf you play.
Gunner.
You're a gunner. I'm an
Sure.
engineer. I have to have the platforms.
Yeah, the platform is
Platforms
such
and the
a
shotgun.
So, yeah. So the platform and the GL, like that secondary, is really good too.
Yeah.
So right, it's a monster for bosses. So she has a gun as the engineer. That's sort of like, have you ever seen like spray insulation foam?
Yeah.
Where it's like you spray it into the like between the 2x4s or whatever, and then it foams up. Basically, the platform gun is like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to shoot at the wall this like foam ball that expands out into a platform. And so now you can use those to navigate up and down. But I, as the gunner, have a zipline gun. And when I fire, it places a post where I am and a post at the end point. And then you and your friends can just ride these up. And so when you get the call to go back to the ship, a lot of times you're using a combination of platforms, or you're climbing up some platforms and then you're jumping on a zip line and then using that part. It's like Disneyland. I mean, it's crazy pants.
Yeah.
And then there's
you
one
can start
the
playing
driller.
4D chess with it as well.
Yes.
Because like I'll throw a platform up, and I also have turrets. That's my other thing I get as like as an engineer. Is I have these 2 individual turrets. I can throw a platform up at an elevated spot and then have a turret on there that shoots down and like covers us while we're running. And then I could push a button to recall my turret, and it'll like zip pack up and like follow me around. So it's really thoughtful.
And then when you throw
like
it down, when it comes time to set it up, your friends can help you bring it up faster. It isn't just something that you can do. Dwarves just all want to bang on stuff. It's like the TF2. It's like the TF2 NG where they're just like wailing on stuff, but this is like you and 3 friends all going crazy with these hammers.
Huh.
Anyway, it's really, really special. Is anybody else playing something that might nourish me?
Somebody tell the devs that this segment happened, because they're going to want to clip this. They're going to want to put it out there.
I bet that Jasmine and I bet that we could go. I mean, we could do the rest of this show about
my whole chat is saying like, I'm going to buy this game. It sounds good.
Yeah, everyone in chat's super into it. Yeah.
No, it's we are not. As strange as it may seem, they haven't paid us to say any of this.
No, they
it's
haven't.
Actually, that good.
That game. Yeah.
It's actually that good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's
So
nice
what
to have
else we
like
got?
something social, like during a time like this, like something
100%.
truly social, right? Like,
yeah.
But do you think the physicality of it is part of what makes it really compelling right now when you're sort of in your house?
Yeah,
the fact of how
like
physical and solid everything is. It's like it feels active, even though it's definitely not.
And you never know what you're getting into.
Yes.
So it's like you don't know. There's like this feeling of like it's unexpected, because like that's the one thing that like games like Left 4 Dead you kind of run into, which is you kind of get
all
a sense
the
of what
geometry
the levels are like.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like you just get plopped somewhere and you don't know where to go. You have to use 3D maps and try to figure out how to navigate the space, not just like straight in a line, but up and down as well. So it like adds like those 4 dimensions to it.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely beautiful somehow.
It definitely looks better than when it did when I saw it in early access.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more clutter and stuff around in there. Anyway, yes, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Is there another game?
I don't have a cheerful. I'm getting ready to start the Last of Us playthrough for the first one.
Catch up and then you'll be ready for the next one.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the cheerful game to play.
I played about 10 minutes and noped out. My daughter was still pretty young when.
Oh, the beginning will fuck you up. Yeah, if you have.
Yeah, I was just like, I was like, no, I can't. Sorry, I'll let Mike tell me about it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So not necessarily
just
super
don't need
cheerful, and everyone kind of knows what it is. So, Anna, what about you? What have you been gaming on recently?
It's funny to talk about E3 because I work.
For
people who don't know me, I worked full time for Twitch for, depending on where you count the starting after the acquisition, like 5 to 10 years that I worked for Twitch. And so I would do E3 every year and talk about all these games and watch all these games, and then like have very little time to actually play a lot of them. So I have this huge backlog of like my stars of E3 from the last many years. And I'm definitely focusing on the social ones. So I went back to Sea of Thieves. I've been playing Sea of Thieves for quite a while now.
It's neat.
And the social aspect of that is really fun. And I especially had a really cool thing happen where I have a lot of trouble with motion sickness, and so I can't do certain things in the game. So I have to count on some of my friends. Yeah. Yeah, and I have like a big curved monitor set up, and like trying to figure out the field of view and stuff. I haven't been able to figure out. I can only play for like 2 hours, but I can only like I can't go run around and do the run and gun stuff, or I can't swim for too long. So they let me drive the ship and run the cannons. So I'm always
there we go.
have certain jobs. So that's been really fun. I've been playing a ton of Animal Crossing. And then I have also, again, focusing on how can I get games that like people can jump in for a little bit, so I can get like, I can get a quick game in with my brother or things like that. I tried Moving Out, that new game that's I think from the devs.
I was playing that with Elliot.
Yeah. It's really fun.
You have to get on two sides of a couch, and then if you both hold down a button, you start swinging it back and forth, then you can release it and it flies up into the moving van. That's one of the best feelings I've ever had in a game.
Speaking of moving a couch. Physicality, that's what has been really satisfying is like absurdist physicality too, of like, I'm going to throw this couch out a window. Boom, I won.
Yep. So it's absurdist. Okay. Because I started to say,
it is very much so.
I don't know if the idea of gamifying moving is something that's what I'm interested in.
Let's gamify divorce.
The new Ace Attorney. That's what the new Ace Attorney is.
Split all your stuff in half. Like,
that already is a game for the lawyer. It's you have to go.
It's true.
It's the meta level.
It's true.
No, but yeah, it's more like if you hate moving, because I moved like 3 times last year or something like that. But if you hate moving, it's very satisfying because it's like, okay, in 3 minutes, I'm going to take all the stuff in this house and I'm going to throw it out the window into a truck and box it up and go.
I get that.
Did you do the level with the backyard swimming pool?
Yeah, where you have to throw stuff across the pool.
You have to throw things across the pool and up into the truck. What a delight.
Or there's one level where it's like on a mountain, so there's like a snow slope. So if you throw things correctly out the window, you can slope them down into the truck instead of having to like carry them down the stairs.
What a delight. The other one that I'm playing, so I'm playing Moving Out with Elliot, but Ronya and I are playing Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah.
I love Minecraft Dungeons. Good.
I think they did some neat stuff here. And I'm here to tell you right now that if you are 10, this is this is a Schedule 1 substance because it has no medical use and a high possibility of addiction. So
I love the different armor sets in that game. They're so creative. Like it's like
she is so into it.
A lot of neat little stuff. Like I like the llama that spits, and like I just like some of the ridiculous stuff you can do in there.
I have the llama, and then she has her dog Gurgi. But every time she puts a piece of equipment in, she has to like give it an epic name. And so that's if there's any other, if anyone was wondering, no paternity test required. She has my disease, and
it's okay. I have a horn that knocks people back, and I call it the Horn of Gondor. And I blast it when I need my friends to help me. I'm just like, Gondor calls for aid, and you can like hear it in the game, and it knocks everybody's back. Save me!
No, I think it kind of works. I mean, in terms of like, end game. I had like read an article about how it doesn't have much of an end game, and I think that's I think it's a term. I get it. I mean, I understand what they mean, but I really do think I wrote about this on the post. I really do think that this is a game for groups of people, families to come together and play, and I think they focused on the middle of that play space, where you have an arc of power and you go up, and now you're trying to balance each other's power by having cool skills that help each other. I think it's trying to do. I don't think it's trying to be necessarily just Diablo, but with cubes. I mean, I think that they're working on something that is like a social experience for families and groups of people where not everyone is at the same, they're not interested in the same level of complexity.
Right.
And I think they've actually charted a really cool path right through the middle of it.
I would agree. I think not necessarily Minecraft Dungeons related, but ARPG related. One of my favorite calls that me and Jerry have had, we've had a lot, is when you called me and said, all right, explain to me Path of Exile. And we spent about an hour.
Yeah. And the first thing you sent me was, it's like, first you go here. It was PoE Ninja.
Yeah, it's PoE Ninja.
And then I saw just the naked heart of this thing exposed.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because it shows you right away what the market in that thing considers the primary resource.
Yeah.
And then everything is sort of branched off of that. Yeah.
Is a lot.
Exactly.
I think if anything,
it was intense.
Yeah, that call ended with Jerry just going, all right, thanks, bye. It's just a long breath. I was like, yep, that's it.
Well, and now they got motherfuckers gardening and stuff in there.
Yeah, that's the new league. Like, next week, gardening. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. So.
All right.
Well, that's it. We're done. We got to get the show started. But let's do some shout outs here before we go. So if you want to shout out everything that's been going on your channel or stuff that's coming up, feel free. Anna is the pro and Bronze. We'll let Jerry go last here. So Anna, you go first.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I took a kind of a quiet week last week, obviously with everything going on. And this week, hoping to be back to make good on my promise of a Twitch Sing stream, because my community raised a whole bunch of money for St. Jude Play Live, and that was one of the promised milestones. So hopefully some Twitch Sings coming up. I am working on getting my sewing stream set up so we can hopefully sew some COVID masks on stream. And if not, I'll just be playing tons of Animal Crossing. So in addition to the role-playing streams that you can find on my channel. So if you don't follow my channel, check out the schedule there. See, I'm not really the pro. You said I was the pro. And
no,
now
you're
I'm
the
doing
pro.
this with
Here,
my hand.
I also do have to issue an apology. I usually make goofy shout-out cards that have no truth to them. This one just looks like I don't know anything about you. So
yeah, and you don't care.
So I that's the apology there. It's not goofy enough. The rest of them, I think, are adequately goofy. So Bronze, do some
honestly,
shout-outs.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
See?
The Animu?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm ThatBronzeGirl. I stream on Twitch almost every single day. I start at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time because I am a morning streamer. I've been a little quiet on social media lately. Normally I post really ridiculous videos and stuff like that. I talk a lot about comic books and things that I enjoy. And I'm going through a little bit of a weird time right now, but I'm still around.
There you go. Cool stuff.
See, that was way more pro than mine.
Yeah. Jerry.
She explained who she was. Yeah. I didn't even do that.
It's true. Jerry, do some shout outs for us.
Hello, I'm your internet friend, Jeffrey K. Horcrims. Let's see, the popular web dollar arcade. That's what, Pathfinder?
Yep.
You devil.
I am.
So right now, my main game that I was running on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. PDT, Acquisitions incorporated the C team that incorporated Anna Prosser, in fact. Right now, that is currently on hiatus until we can get back into the studio. But my understanding is that Alyssa Grant, also known to Anna, and an incredible talent in her own right, but also handling production stuff at Penny Arcade, we're going to try to make that Wednesday 4 p.m. slot sort of a rotating cast of interesting shows. So more to announce on that front soon. One of the main things that we've been doing, Mike and I, who is the artist at Penny Arcade, is he got heavily into simulated racing somehow. I don't know 100% why.
Dangerous.
Via the iRacing platform. He watched a documentary and then he lost his mind. And then, as is often the case, I've sort of come along with him on this journey. So if you throw a follow to the channel, you'll get an indication of when we're jumping on for a racing stream. Friday afternoons at 2, we do a Motorsports Manager stream, heavily backseat gamed by the channel. It's definitely something to it's basically Twitch Plays Motorsport Manager, but definitely follow for indications when we're driving simulated racing, and I'm acting as a spotter, which is apparently is an actual role in the racing community, but it's essentially a kind of co-op game. Check it out.
People have linked you the meme video of the spotter, right? You've seen that?
No.
Oh my. Okay. I'll link you it after. I'll tweet it to you. So if you want to see it, people can check it out.
I take spotting very seriously, JP.
It's a fun video. I'll link it to you.
I'm
afterwards.
ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to see it.
All right.
Thanks,
That's it.
Thanks so much for the invite.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks.
And also being so amazing when it came to scheduling. It was no doodle. It was just a Twitter. In the world of scheduling streamers, it can be a nightmare. This was not. And so thank you guys for that. I appreciate that.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Anytime.
All right. That's it. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. We're out. Bye.